Yeah, this was an idea from one of our supporters who I think had been doing a bit of clearing out during the last lockdown, and who was also reflecting on the fact of how lucky we are here in the Isle of Man to be able to have vaccinations fairly swiftly, which of course is not the case in most places around the world. So the idea was very simple: Jumble for Jabs. Have a jumble sale and donate the proceeds towards vaccines for poorer countries. So that's the premise of it. It's very simple. There is an organisation called COVAX, which is a big international alliance that does buy and supply and deliver vaccines to the poorer countries, and we're suggesting that people might like to get together, do a bit of fundraising. Doesn't even have to be a jumble sale. That was just it was a nice bit of alliteration, Jumble for Jabs.
Works well.
You could have a cake sale, you could do something at work, you could have a garage sale, but it was really just trying to show our appreciation that we're in a very fortunate position, and there's just so billions of people who aren't in the same position as us around the world.
And I think that's the thing, isn't it? As you say, you forget somehow living as we do in this neck of the woods, the Isle of Man or the UK, even though we're always worrying about how well we're doing with our vaccine rollout, compared to millions of people in some of these countries, we're just streets ahead. They've barely got going, some of them, really.
That's absolutely right. I mean, the World Health Organization said on Sunday, I think, that still it's 0.3% of vaccines are going to lower income countries. So you have a position where you have countries like the US and Canada that have ordered enough vaccine to fully vaccinate their population many times over. And then you have other countries who are just struggling to get any vaccine at all. They also have the added problems of very poor infrastructure, remote places, maybe very hot places. How do you cope with refrigeration? How do you actually get the vaccines to some of these places? So, they have even more problems than us to actually deliver the vaccines. So, anything we can do to help is going to have to be a bonus.
Yeah, I don't know whether you saw that, Christy, as well. There was something I was watching on the news last week, the week before, and again, I think it was in the Amazon or somewhere in Brazil, and it was incredible, these journeys sort of going on these completely unmade-up roads, and then on a boat journey, and then on another sort of onto another four-wheel drive to go to these really remote populations. But of course, if you don't vaccinate, they've got to be vaccinated as well, albeit that they just happen to live somewhere which is not easily connected to the rest of the world. But yeah, it's massive problems for some places.
Yeah, I was reading yesterday about Kenya. They were using remote parts of Kenya. They were using camels. I don't think they were using the camels to actually take the vaccine out, but they were going out to meet the sort of natural healers in that area. Because again, there's not clinics in every area, and people are used to going to, maybe the bloke down the road who sort of gives you the right herbs and things. So there's a big education piece around this as well. We know all about the vaccines, but maybe not everybody does. So that's another aspect to it as well.
And I guess as well, in a lot of these areas as well, you'll quite often find that in the poorer nations, it's more densely populated as well. So they're probably even more at risk because they don't have the ability to necessarily sort of separate out and keep away from each other in the same ways that we can.
Yeah, that's a factor. And just poverty as well. A lot of people have lost their income. Again, in low income countries, a lot of people live very hand to mouth. If they can't do their work today, they don't get paid. So that's created a lot of pressures. We saw that in India, didn't we, at the beginning when there was a lockdown and everybody fled back to their villages because that was the only way they were going to survive. But of course, that just transmitted the virus further away.
Quicker, yeah. And yet it's only £4 to actually, that's what you need for a vaccine, isn't it? £4 per vaccine.
Yes, at the time I wrote the press release it was £4, but I checked yesterday and it seems to have gone up to slightly nearer £5. But yeah, thereabouts. That's all it takes. So, you can make a difference with very little.
So the campaign, practically on the local level, this is kicking off, the beginning of June?
We're starting with a jumble sale on Saturday the 5th of June, which will take place at the top hall in the Promenade Methodist Church in Douglas. But as I say, it wasn't to be just one event. What we're hoping is that people will take this and run with it. I don't know, what could you do here at Manx Radio? Could you have a cake sale or something one day? It could be absolutely anything. But please join in because you really can make a difference.
And are you looking for items for your jumble sale?
We are. We'll be taking donations on the afternoon and the evening before. So if you've got anything nice quality that you'd like to get rid of, bring it down to the Promenade Church and we'll look after it for you.
Fantastic. And they're always very busy at One World Centre.
Always.
And you're actually, this week, you've got an art competition on the go, haven't you?
Yeah, we've launched that today. That's an evolution of a film competition that we're doing. We thought we'd branch out this year into arts. So it's on the theme of being a responsible consumer, which is maybe sounds a bit of a serious theme, but it's actually something we can all do with a little bit of thought. So this is thinking about waste. It's thinking about what we buy, why we buy it. Do we actually need it in the first place? What can we do with it when we've used it? So there's lots of different aspects in that. It's a competition. It's open to all ages. Under 18s, we're asking them to draw or paint a poster. Over 18s, they can do anything they like, so long as I can carry it. That's the only criteria. So you've got until the 23rd of July to give us a creative response to that, being a responsible consumer. There's lots of information and resources on our website, and I'd be happy to talk to anyone about that further.
And we're rapidly heading towards Timmel Day, of course, just over a month's time, isn't it, realistically? Amazing, though it is to think that. The Global Village, is that taking place again?
Yeah, definitely is, yeah. We were very sad we couldn't run it last year, so we'll be back with a bang, hopefully, this year. So Global Village, for those who don't know anything about it, it started off as a celebration of cultural diversity on the Isle of Man. We're coming up to Census Day again, and this was sort of what brought it about last time, was that we looked to see we had 154 different nationalities on the Isle of Man. So it's a celebration of all the people that are here. It's also showcasing all the groups and individuals and organisations involved with making the world a bit more fairer and sustainable for everyone as well. So it's a great family day out. We have lots of nice food.
It's one of my favourite bits of Timmel Day. I absolutely love it. The Global Village is fantastic. Well, just let everyone know then where they can go to find out all the details, whether they want to take part in the art competition or support you with a Jumble for Jabs. How do they find out more?
Okay, so our website is oneworldcenteriom.org, or we also have a Facebook page, which is quite simply One World Centre Isle of Man.